Today's tutorial was inspired by a dress that I saw on one of my favorite fashion blogs, Wendy's Lookbook. And as I had a wedding to attend, and you guys know how much I like to create my own dress for occasions like this, I gave it a shot to recreate a similar look. So I opened up my Burda magazines and searched for similar looks. I found a high-low dress by coincidence in a wedding spread that sort of had a similar style, although the skirt wasn't a wrap skirt, which I didn't particularly mind, and also it was missing the sleeves that I added onto the pattern later. So this dress has 4 pattern pieces for the top part and 2 for the skirt. You will need an invisible zip for the back closure, boning for the top piece, tracing paper, thread, and some elastic band that I will use in the sleeves. Of course, you will need your fabric, around 2 meters, to make sure you have enough, as the skirt and the sleeves do take up a bit more fabric. My chosen fabric is a red pattern cotton fabric. It is not too lightweight but also not too heavy, just in the middle field to have a firmer hold as it falls and forms its waves. After I took out my pattern pieces, I will first start with collating the top parts together. You need to cut each top pattern piece out of your fabric 4 times, except the front central piece that you cut on forward, and hence you need it twice. This is needed as we are also creating the same for the lining of the top. Now start sewing together the side stitches right side facing in the same order as I laid it out here. Now with this pattern, it is very important to pay attention to the size and constantly measure it on you. I found the top to be small for my size, so I corrected it by adding some more fabric in. Once you have done one, do the same for the second top piece as well. Now moving on to boning, take one of the top pieces that you want to use for lining. I added in the boning into the front and side seams. Cut the length of these seams out of the boning. Make sure you iron down the seams and place the boning onto the center of the seam and carefully sew around them. Also pay attention that the boning will start a bit further down and end a bit earlier than the seam, so that we leave allowance for hemming and attaching the skirt. Once the boning is in, it is time to hem the top. Right side facing, place the 2 top pieces on each other and sew along the top edge. Once ready, fold it out and iron it down, and we can move on to the skirt. Take the front piece of the skirt that is cut out from the fabric on fold, sew one piece. The pattern instructs us to take a few centimeters in each side of the skirt. I did this using pins and then stitched them down to keep them in place. Do the same for the back skirt piece as well. Here you have 2 fabric pieces and 1 bigger chunk to take in. Stitch it down as well. It is time to attach it all together. Start by sewing the skirt's side seams together. Then we stitch the top to the skirt. First I will sew the lining piece to the top as shown in here. This is how it should look like. Now fold down the main top piece and fold it in at the bottom in a thin line. Place it on the top skirt seam line to cover it up, then stitch it down. It's time to add in the zip in the back. Measure down where your zip would end, use the longest stitch from that point upwards and your normal stitch from that point down. Iron the seams and place the zip exactly on the center line. I used Wonder tape to keep it in place, but you can use pins as well. Then stitch the zip in. Once in, just defred the seam so that the zip can be used. Stitch down the top part of the zip as well. Now for the sleeves, I cut 2 rectangles for each sleeve. I only did this because I didn't have enough fabric to take it on fold. If you have, you cut the rectangle on fold and you have only one side seam to stitch. Measure your top arm around and that will give you the size of the top part of this rectangle. Leave a bit more allowance though. For the bottom, just double this size. Now that we have these 2 rectangles, I stitched the sides together. I realized the pattern isn't going to work the way I want it to, so I cut out a curve from the top this way. Then I just hemmed the top part. I measured down my arm width from the elastic band, then folded in a wider piece at the bottom of the sleeve, wide enough to drive the elastic through. I left an opening when stitched it down, then drew the elastic through. I stitched the ends of the elastic together and closed down the opening. Now I just attach the sleeves in a thin line to the sides of the dress. Lastly, I hemmed the skirt and it is finally ready. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I really like how this dress turned out. I think it looks really special and it may be a bit lengthy tutorial, but really not that complicated to make. Let me know in the comments below if you liked it or if you have any tutorial that you would like to see me make. Have a lovely day and I see you in the next video. Bye my love!
Kiss me